Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving into the world of AI in healthcare today, and I am so ready to dig into this. We'll be focusing on some fascinating excerpts from Siddharth Bose's book, AI in Action. It's funny, the idea of AI diagnosing diseases and personalizing treatments used to seem like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's true. It really did. What I find so interesting about Bose's approach is how he manages to take these incredibly complex AI concepts and make them understandable. I mean, this stuff can get pretty complicated pretty quickly. So instead of just scratching the surface, let's really try and get into it, explore the real impact of AI on healthcare. And I think a good place to start is with the most basic question. What exactly is AI?
Such a good point, because we hear the term AI everywhere we turn these days, but what does it actually mean when it comes to healthcare specifically?
Well, Bose defines AI as, and I'm quoting him here, creating systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence.
Okay, that makes sense as a starting point, but I definitely want to get into more of the
Of
specifics.
course. And I think the important thing to remember is that when we're talking about AI in healthcare, we're not talking about replacing doctors or nurses or any of that. It's not about replacing people. It's about giving them more tools to work with. Bose talks about how good AI is at handling these massive amounts of data, finding patterns, and making predictions so much faster and more accurately than humans can. So just imagine, a world with faster diagnoses, treatments that are more effective, and preventative care that's actually personalized. That's the kind of future AI could help us build.
It's really interesting when you put it like that because it's not about replacing human expertise. It's about finding ways for technology to support and enhance it, right?
Exactly. And just like we use all sorts of different tools for different tasks in our everyday lives, there are different approaches to AI as well. Bose actually uses this really great analogy. He compares narrow AI to a specialized tool, like a really high-powered microscope. It's amazing at what it does, but it has limitations.
So it's like saying you wouldn't use a microscope to listen to a patient's heartbeat.
Exactly. And that's where the idea of general AI comes in. It's kind of like the difference between the specialist and a general practitioner.
Okay, I get it. So narrow AI is like a specialist, really good at one specific thing, while general AI is more like a general practitioner who has a broader range of knowledge.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that most of us are already interacting with narrow AI in our everyday lives, especially when it comes to health, and we don't even realize it.
That's wild. Like, what? Give me an example.
Well, think about it.
Okay, you've got me thinking now. So many things we take for granted. Like when my fitness tracker tells me I'm not getting enough sleep or something, that's probably using some kind of AI, right?
It absolutely is.
Hmm.
It's taking in all that data from your sleep patterns and giving you feedback. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, really. What Bose is talking about is something way more advanced. He gets into some really exciting potential applications of AI in healthcare, like telehealth and predictive analytics.
Oh yeah, telehealth. I feel like that really took off recently. But there's one thing Bose talks about that I'm really curious to hear more about: personalized medicine.
Oh, yeah, that's the really big one, isn't it? The idea that treatment could be tailored to each individual patient. Bose gets into that quite a bit.
So tell me, how would that actually work? What does AI-powered personalized medicine even look like?
Oh, imagine this. You go to the doctor, right?
Right.
But instead of getting a treatment plan that's based on general guidelines or whatever, you get one that's been created specifically for you, based on your individual needs. AI can take into account your genetic makeup, your lifestyle, even things like environmental factors and your medical history. All those things come together to build this picture of your health.
So no more one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare. It's about time. But what's the AI actually doing? Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're diagnosed with cancer, right? Bose actually talks about this. He uses AI-driven cancer treatment as an example. The way it works is AI can analyze your tumor, but I mean at the molecular level, it can identify the specific mutations that are making it grow, and then get this, it can predict which therapies are going to be most effective, not just for your type of cancer, but for you specifically.
Wow, that's a game changer. So instead of just treating the cancer in a general way, the AI is helping doctors go after the root cause, and it's doing it in a way that's tailored to the individual patient.
Mhm.
Incredible. And I'm guessing that means fewer side effects too.
That's the idea. By figuring out the most targeted treatment, AI can help minimize those really nasty side effects that people often experience with traditional cancer treatments. It's all about making treatment more effective and less grueling.
This is mind-blowing stuff, really. But let's get specific. How does AI actually pull this off? What are some of the technologies or solutions that actually make personalized medicine a reality?
Oh, there are some incredible technologies out there.
So we've been talking about personalized medicine, which is just wow, but what else is out there? What other really cool applications of AI in healthcare does Bose get into?
Oh, so many. But one that really stood out to me, and it kind of blew my mind a little bit, is what Bose calls AI-augmented radiology. Basically, it's this idea that you can have AI algorithms analyzing medical images.
Okay, so instead of a doctor looking at an X-ray or an MRI, you've got AI doing it.
Exactly. Or, well, working alongside the doctor, I should say.
Hmm.
Because what's so amazing about this is that these algorithms can pick up on things that even a trained eye might miss, those
Right.
really subtle details.
So it's like having an extra set of eyes and incredibly precise ones at that. But does that mean radiologists are going to be out of a job?
That's the thing, Bose doesn't see it that way at all. He actually thinks AI could help solve the shortage of radiologists.
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. You've got this technology that can process images so much faster than a human can, right? So instead of having the radiologist spend hours and hours poring over every single image, the AI can do kind of a first pass and flag anything that looks unusual or suspicious. Then the radiologist can focus their expertise on those cases.
So it's not about replacing the doctor's expertise. It's about using technology to make the best use of their time and skills. It frees them up to focus on the more complex cases.
Exactly. And it could be especially helpful in places where there just aren't enough radiologists, those underserved areas. But that's not all. AI is also making waves in the world of chronic disease management, which is huge.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a bit about that, all those wearable sensors and things. Is that what Bose is talking about?
It is. He talks about this whole idea of remote patient monitoring, where you've got these devices like smartwatches, for example, that are collecting all sorts of data about a person's health.
So, like how many steps you take in a day, that kind of thing.
Oh, way beyond that. Think heart rate, blood pressure, even blood sugar levels in real time. And all that data gets sent straight to the patient's doctor.
It's like having a 24/7 virtual checkup.
That's a great way to put it. And Bose talks about how this kind of continuous monitoring could be a game changer for people with chronic conditions like diabetes or heart failure, even some mental health conditions. It allows for early intervention, prevents those really serious complications.
This has been absolutely fascinating. But before we get too carried away with all the amazing things AI can do, we have to talk about the other side of the coin, because there are challenges too, right?
Right. No technology is perfect. And with something as powerful as AI, especially in a field as sensitive as healthcare, we have to be really careful.
So what are some of the challenges that Bose talks about? What do we need to be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest ones, and he dedicates a lot of time to this, is data privacy. These AI systems, they need data to function, right? And in healthcare, that data is some of the most personal, most sensitive information there is.
Yeah, that makes sense. People want to know that their health information is being handled responsibly.
Absolutely. And Bose, he gets that. He really emphasizes the importance of having strong security measures in place to protect patient privacy, things like data encryption and secure storage. He also talks about the need for transparency, making sure patients understand how their data is being used and why.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about building trust and making sure these systems are being used ethically. That makes sense. Well, I have to say, this deep dive has really opened my eyes. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what AI can do in healthcare, but one thing's for sure, the future of medicine is looking pretty different and more than a little bit exciting. Thanks for joining us and for sharing your expertise with us. It's given us all a lot to think about.
It's been my pleasure. I think the most important thing is that we keep asking these questions and keep the conversation going. This technology has the potential to do so much good, but only if we use it wisely.